Following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah! Go Cowboys!
This is Cowboys StoryLine, presented by Gillette, the official shave of the Dallas Cowboys. Here's Nick Eatman.
Welcome to Cowboys Storyline, presented by Gillette, the official shave of the Dallas Cowboys. Love that. Love that new open. The official shave of the Dallas Cowboys. I can't just say it normal. I have to say it like that. All right, let's do this. Wednesday, September the 10th. Let's just get right into it. Well, there's a lot of news going on. The Jadeveon Clowney is expected to visit. Let's see if the Cowboys like what they see, if he likes what he sees. If they sign him, this would be his 7th NFL team if that happens. Cool. It looks like he can still play. I mean, he's productive everywhere he's been. I don't think, you're not replacing Micah Parsons by one guy, but a guy like that is averaged. We did the math. When he plays a full season or at least double-digit games, he's averaging about 6.5 sacks for his entire career. A couple times he hasn't played the whole season and hasn't been that productive. But when he's out there and he's playing, he gets about 5 to 6, sometimes 7 sacks. So you'll take that on the team like that. If he can still play at that level, that's what the Cowboys are going to try to find out. All right, let's go to the phone lines. Brian in Kansas City's first. Brian, what's up, man?
Well, good morning, sir.
Morning.
Man, I'll tell you, when I saw that this morning, I didn't have any time to look up stats on Clowney, but so I'm glad you kind of you put that out there. I was kind of wondering, is he still productive? He's been around for so long. He's been so many places. But, this is when you hear Will McClay say we're always looking.
Yeah.
We're always churning. I wouldn't have even said that even after losing Micah, what I saw last week, I thought they were serviceable. It's hard to tell against Hurts because he can escape. Right? But I thought our DNs were serviceable. I didn't think they were terrible.
Yeah.
But you're always looking. You're always looking to improve. And the thing that I wanted to talk about today and get your opinion on, so I went and watched last night. I watched I almost said Redskins, Commanders and Giants game. And, man, their offensive line still sucks, Nick. It's been a bugaboo for them forever, right? I mean, it's no secret they put draft picks into it, and they're just not hitting on them. And I really think they had no running game. However, the one problem we had last week, Russ still has enough legs to get the job done if people aren't in their lane. So I just wanted to see what you thought about that matchup, and I'll hang up and listen to the answer, man.
Thank you, Brian. Appreciate it. Obviously different matchup when you're talking about Hurts and really there's only about a handful of quarterbacks that are kind of at that level. Now Russ can still get out there, and he did it. He had like 40 yards rushing. He had half of their rushing yards, I think. So, and also a little different when in terms of getting him to the ground as opposed to Hurts, who is like a running back there. But that is something that they have to figure out, staying in their lanes and pressure is one thing, and pressure does matter. I've never been one that says that's not a big deal. It is. I've even coined the phrase, if you will, that close only counts. Was it horseshoes, hand grenades, and pass rush? Because pass rush, getting close does matter when you're talking about getting to the quarterback, because he can lead to big plays. But if you're pressuring Hurts and he's just running out and getting a first down or 15 yards or even a touchdown, then it's not doing anything. You want to pressure him to throw an incomplete pass or make a turnover or whatever, a bad play, and not so much pressuring him out for a first down. So that is something the Cowboys are going to have to figure out this week, and I think it will be easier with Russell Wilson, but still, he can still move, and so that's something to definitely consider. But going back to Clowney, he had 5.5 sacks last year with the Panthers. And that's about normal. I mean, he's been at 6 different teams. I can only think I can name them all, but like Texans, Cleveland, Seattle, the Titans, and then last year was Carolina. I know I'm missing somebody in there, but he, when he's healthy and he's playing and he's productive, he's getting 5 or 6 sacks. I mean, it's to me, it's like having another Dante Fowler type of guy. Maybe even a little bit better, but you're talking about a guy that was picked very high. He was number 1 overall several years ago, and he's bounced around. He's played in different systems, but he can still be productive in those systems. All right, let's go to a Champ in Nebraska. It's been a little bit. Champ, what's up?
Hey, Nick, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
I can't complain, brother. It has been a while. I've tried to get in, but boy, is it hard these days.
I guess that's a good thing.
So, yeah, that's a great thing. It really is. Hey, so I just got a couple things that I've been wanting to ask since pretty much training camp that I couldn't get in. One of the things that people kept talking about running backs, who's on the hot seat before cut day with Maffa and Deuce and all that, but Hunter Lepke, I know we've extended him at this point, but he played the least amount of snaps this last game that he's ever played before. What do they see that we don't see, I don't see, that makes that a good extension? Also, I'm going to be a little bit of a bad guy with Pickens here. I love George. I want to see him do well here, but I saw a couple things in the game that the 15-yard penalty he got was unnecessary. Reminded me of the Jordan Lewis deal, kind of seemed like an anger, emotional type deal. And also there was a throw to the end zone where it's incomplete, and the defensive back gets up to walk away, and it looked like he wanted to grab the defensive back's leg and kind of yank it to maybe trip him, but he caught himself. And I thought those things are little things that, even though he's been doing well with teammates and stuff, doing and saying all the right things, but in the heat of the moment, do the emotions get too much of him where he does things that are going to cost the team? So I just wanted to see if you'd touch on that. With that, I'll hang up, and I will try to get in whenever I can.
All right, Champ. Appreciate it.
All right, take care, Nick.
All right, you too. Very astute points there. I saw that as well. And it makes me wonder how many more things are there like that. A lot of stuff that you don't necessarily see there. That was a pass intended to him. This was another play away from the ball. I still don't know if I got a great look at the penalty. I don't know if I've gone back to actually see that. It must have been. No one's complaining about it. I didn't really see it. I was kind of surprised that would happen, where it would be 15 yards like that with killer. Well, could have been a killer penalty, and then they ended up getting another penalty back. I still think it was a big play, though. It was a big moment, that whole sequence there, because if you don't get that, you're probably continuing to run it. Maybe you get a field goal, maybe you don't. Maybe Miles Sanders he fumbles then. I don't know if he was destined to fumble. But going back to Pickens, I mean, yeah, it's you get what you get. I mean, like that's part of the whole thing. Jason Garrett's line, it comes with the dinner. To be that type of player, to be that kind of dog, if you will, bulldog from Georgia, to be that type of guy that can go out and make plays the way he makes, it comes with the price. It comes with the emotion. It comes with a lot of things, and he's got to learn to check that. And that's him growing up and maturing as a player. That's the kind of stuff I think Pittsburgh said we could live without. And that's always a tough balance. You what can you tolerate? And so we knew this time was coming. And I'm not saying it's bad or anything yet, but there's a reason why. There's a reason why everybody gets traded. Pickens got traded. Micah got traded. And right now, Green Bay fans are thinking, wow, we got this guy. Okay, we don't have a first-round pick, but we got this guy. And they're right. There will be a time when they're like, okay, why did he do that? Why did he say that? Whatever it is. And let me also say, there will be a time when everything kind of comes out. And if you're wherever you are on this Micah Parsons trade, you're going to look back and go, okay, makes a lot of sense. It'll all come out at some point. All right, Chris in Saratoga Springs, what's up?
Hey, Nick, how are you?
Good. How are you? You're starting to call a lot, man. You got the secret sauce. You're getting in here.
Well, that's what you get from working from home.
You're getting on that all storyline team. There's no doubt about it, right?
I'm hoping. I was just talking to Beam about that. I'm like, I want to get on that list.
Yeah, we had to go back to T-shirts. I mean, I like the Yetis. You know, this segment isn't officially sponsored by Yeti. Maybe the next one. Mm-hmm. I love the Yetis, but I've got to go back. I mean, you can't beat a good T-shirt. So that's the plan, especially when we got Gillette as the sponsor. Let's see if we can cut a deal with them. All right. It's my bad joke of the day. What do you got, Chris?
Well, you already talked a little bit about Clowney. I'm really kind of hoping they sign him. He could be like Commanders, how they signed the defensive end. He used to play for Denver. I'm having a brain fart with the name. He played for Buffalo last year.
Oh.
Why am I having a...
Von Miller?
Yeah, he could be like a Von Miller type of situational pass rusher. I think he's just as good, if not better, than Dante Fowler. So I would definitely like to see them sign him, as well as keep giving Houston a little bit more opportunities. I think he shows up every time he's out there. He's making a play. Kind of reminds me on the offensive side of the ball, like Brock Hoffman. Like you wouldn't expect anything out of the guy, but every time he's in there, he's producing. He's playing well.
Right.
So I think they should also give Houston some more opportunities. And the only other thing I would like to see a little bit more Dallas do is Flournoy, get him into the game. I'm not a big fan of Tolbert. I don't know. It's his fourth year. He hasn't done a lot for me personally on the offensive side of the ball. I love Flournoy in his I don't know. He has the talent and athleticism. I think we should give him more of a shot at that 4 until Mingo gets back. I'm just not a huge fan of Tolbert. He's got to show me more than what he's shown me in the past 3 to 4 years, to be honest.
Okay. All right. Well, thanks for the call. I appreciate it, Chris. Flournoy. Don't want to get it in my head differently. He's kind of a weird name to pronounce. I think it's Ryan Flournoy. Let's keep it there. Because what happens is that I'll say it the wrong way, like on the radio or something like that. So, but I'm not down on Tolbert the way a lot of people are. I just he got passed over. Like he was number 2 mainly because Cooks was hurt, but he was number 2 and he scored some touchdowns and he was productive last year. It wasn't eye-opening. I mean, to the point where they were like, we got to go trade for Pickens or whatever. So they did that, and then I think that that they feel like Turpin's gonna just do more for the offense as well. But get an injury, knock on wood, but one of those top 2 guys, I think you might be okay having a guy like Jalen Tolbert out there. So I see his role. I'm not down on him like the way some of the others are. So, but we'll see. I'd be surprised if he was inactive for this game, and they got to get Flournoy up there on the roster too. All right, let's go to Michael, Bowling Green, Kentucky.
What's up?
How are
Nick?
you?
You doing all right?
Yeah, man.
You doing all right?
Yes.
Good. Hey, I think Sunday we're going to win. I think I'm going 31-10 Dallas, but I think it's a no-win situation because
Explain.
When we win, when we beat the Giants, it's going to be that. Well, the Giants aren't any good. You lose to a good team, then you just beat up on a bad team. Same old Cowboys. I think that's what people say. But if they lose by chance, they won't. But if they did, they can't even beat a winning team.
Yeah.
I think it's a no-win situation, but I think we're going to take care of business. I think, Dallas can go in there and Dak's going to, they're going to generate 4 touchdowns, probably run and pass, and then, get a field goal. The defense is going to come up. You're going to see the defense of the second half of the Eagles game, the whole game, I believe. That's my opinion.
All right. Well, you got anything else?
No, I gave him a score.
All right.
Gave him a spill. Try and get off and let somebody else get on.
Appreciate it. All right, Michael. I don't necessarily I mean, I don't agree with that no win. I mean, you get a win, that's a win. So that would not be a no win. It would just be a yes win because, they got to get to 1-1. And they've played the New York Giants every year that they've had a football team. So for 65 years, they've played the Giants. They played them mostly. They play them twice. So who cares what people say? You play the Giants. You play your team. You play your schedule. It is what it is. I mean, trust me. Look at this schedule. There's plenty of games out there that are going to be challenging, and this one could be as well. I mean, it might be. It's gonna be tough for a little while. I think the Cowboys are going to have to make sure that they handle their business, or don't mess around, or as Patrick Walker would say, don't quit playing with your food. He says that a lot about Georgia Bulldogs. Get off to a slow start, but don't do that. But if you get a win, you get a win. I think it matters. I mean, I wouldn't worry about what anyone says. You got to play the schedule that's in front of you, and this is a division game, and you got to go out and get it. And so, I mean, I don't know who would be saying that. I think they would be like, hey, good bounce back win for the Cowboys. Tough loss in week 1, but they did what they're supposed to do, and that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to beat teams like this. Now they haven't done anything yet. I mean, let's not just chalk this up. I mean, this is going to be I think it's going to be a challenge. We'll find out. We'll find out. I mean, for all the stuff, Jason Garrett got blamed all the time for being vanilla, being the clapper, being 8-8, whatever. But they win games like this. Like his teams would go out and win games. McCarthy, same thing. They win this game. So that's let's see if Shoddy's got that. I would love to see a video, after the game at 3:15, and at AT&T Stadium where Dak is handing a football to Shoddy and saying, congrats on your first win and all that stuff. And that's what needs to happen. And I think, it's too bad it didn't happen last week, but could happen this week. Let's go to Dylan, Northport, Florida. Dylan, what's up?
Hey, Nick, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
Hey, man, I'm good. Yeah, it's a win situation if they win. So yeah. Who cares what people say? Only people saying that kind of stuff are stupid, and they look at at the records and the schedules and stuff at the end of the year. If it's a loss, then you're out of the playoffs. If it's a win, okay, it's a win. Move on. It's great.
Got to move on. Got to stack them up.
Yeah, stack them up, and these are the ones you got to stack up
Right.
up until Green Bay here for sure.
Right.
Yeah, last night I couldn't sleep, so just being the degenerate that I am, football-wise, I came in my office and I turned on the All 22. And I was really curious. I was thinking about this all day, and I didn't look into it, but last night was a good time. I was curious about the orbit motion and how many times they ran that and how successful it was against the Eagles. And just for anybody who's listening, that's just when the receiver goes in motion behind the running back and the quarterback. Mm-hmm. And, it can help bump the linebackers out, bring the safeties down or back the safeties up, depending on what the defense is doing. It's basically used to create mismatches and opportunities and stuff. So, in doing that, I actually looked at all the motion. I charted all the motion plays, all the no motion plays up until the weather delay. And they ran 30 plays with motion, 15 plays without motion. And their success rate was 67% on, when they used motion versus 53% when they didn't. And that's plays, 4+ yards, touchdown, positive penalty, 3rd and short conversion. All those things are included in positive plays. But what was interesting to me is specifically that orbit motion. One of the handoffs to Turpin there, CD came around on an orbit motion, and it carried the linebacker out of the box, and it looked like it was an option play for Dak to either hand it off, depending on what that linebacker did pre-snap, to either hand it off to Turpin, or it was a wide receiver screen on the other side to CD, who was the motion guy. And then the big run by Miles Sanders, another one in orbit motion, and that was when Turpin came across the field, took Bond out of the box, and they ran it to the left. Of course, Bond tracked him down because he's a freak, and this was a great play by him. But, that play was, it was amazing. The design, the execution, Terrence Steele knocked the guy off of his feet. Just stuff like that with Shoddy. I love seeing all the use of the motion and not just sending guys just to send guys around, but with a purpose, motion with a purpose, right? Yeah. So very exciting to see. I want to see more of that. And then just super quick one thing, these wide receivers, man, they got to do a better job at run blocking. I was watching that as well last night. None of them are really good at it except until you get to Flournoy, who didn't even play. I don't think he took a snap at wide receiver. But all the other guys, whether they're willing or not, none of them are any good at run blocking. So we got to see a better involvement and better effort and better execution on that part there.
All right, Dylan, appreciate it. man, maybe there's a spot for you on the analytics team. I mean, they got like 8 guys over there or 8 people over there. Maybe there's a spot for you. You certainly have it broken down and obviously have a passion for it. I like what you said about the motion with a purpose, but sometimes you do it without a purpose. I mean, the purpose is that it's a disguise. So, and I'm sure we saw some of that as well. But yeah, what I like about it is it's just we know that the field's 100 yards long, but it's also 53 yards wide, and that's a lot of room to do things and move people around, especially when you have some speed and weapons and things like that. So I'm a fan of that, and I think sometimes with McCarthy's offense, I think it gets too bunched up. And that's fine if you've got these overpowering tight ends and offensive tackles that can just, maul people, then fine. Just play it inside the box and do that. But when you don't have that, when your tight ends aren't like incredibly great run blockers and your offensive line isn't going to just push people around, then you have to utilize it that way. And so I kind of like what I'm seeing so far, and sounds like you did a really nice job of breaking it down. Let's get one more call before we go to break. Josh in Princeton. What's up, Josh?
Hey, Nick.
How you doing?
I'm doing good. Fun fact. So I live in Princeton, Texas, which is in Collin County, but my office is right up here by the Star. I'm probably about 5 minutes away. I work
all right
at the 121 in Parkwood. I just wanted to throw that out there.
Okay. Then maybe I'll see you. Yeah, I know where that is.
Yep, I come up there and eat, quite often. But
okay.
Yeah, I just want to throw that out there.
All right,
but
cool.
I want to make a comment on the guy that called. I think it was Monday, Allen. I'm going to take the aggressive and decisive Dak every time. No, like the one that holds on to the ball and is conservative. I don't want that Dak. I want the one that played in that Eagles game. I'm going to take him every time.
Yeah, and he'll throw some interceptions? No. What I'm saying is that like you're fine. He throws an interception or two, maybe at the worst moment of right before a half or something. I'm just saying you have to take it all. Like if you want, I like that aggressive. That guy, those aggressive home run hitters strike out. So yep. I'm saying if you're good with all of it, that's what I'm asking. If you're good with all of it, that and I think I am. I like the aggressive Dak.
Well, I've never killed Dak for all of the interceptions, even when he led the lead. It was just a lot of nuance to those picks. I'm a Romo guy. I never killed Romo for the pick. So yeah, I think I'm good with all of it too.
Okay.
Yeah. But the main thing I was calling for is I was listening at one of the other shows, and they were nitpicking wide receiver blocking, and I was kind of thinking, like, what are we talking about here? I don't want CD and Pickens and Turpin. I don't want them to be so heavily focused on blocking. Like, I just think that's a reach. I may be overthinking it, but I didn't have a problem with. I guess they were trying to say that it was a lack of engagement on wide receiver blocking, but. Yeah, that's just not a concern for me, and I would like to know, from some of the other callers and your opinion as well.
Okay.
I don't think that's a big deal. I mean, sure, it can, make a good running game great, if your wide receivers are engaged, but that's just I don't think I want my top receivers overly concerned with blocking.
All right, I love it. All right, Josh, we're gonna move it on. Thanks for that point. That's why I love this show because 2 calls in a row. One of them, Dylan just said, "No, the blocking from the receivers is terrible. It's got to get better." Josh is like, I don't know if I care about that kind of stuff. I don't know. Sometimes when you're on hold, I don't think you can necessarily hear the call that's happening right there. So that was interesting that they both brought that up. Me personally, I think I'm kind of in between. I think you're not here because of your blocking, but you're out there, so you can help, and the more you can do. And so be a willing blocker. You don't have to be the best. I'm not. This isn't IHOP. I don't need you to have pancakes. But what I do need is for you to get in the way and hold it up, and maybe let the guy get behind you. Terrence Williams was a guy I remember is a really good downfield blocker. And so you can be good at it. I don't know if you have to be great at it, but you definitely need to be good. Let's go to break real quick on Cowboys Storyline. Be right back after this.
Cowboys fans, when it comes to navigating the ever-changing world of tax, your business needs a partner it can trust to tackle even your biggest tax challenges. Ryan is the largest firm in the world dedicated exclusively to business taxes. Our team of tax professionals has local expertise in all areas of tax and can help you uncover savings opportunities you didn't know you had. Learn more about how Ryan can improve your overall corporate tax performance by visiting Ryan.com. Ryan, the official tax partner of the Dallas Cowboys.
Crown Royal and the Dallas Cowboys are bringing back the Royal Rig for Season 2. See it in action at AT&T Stadium on Thanksgiving Day, where the Dallas Cowboys take on the Kansas City Chiefs, and around Dallas on November 26th and November 28th. Visit crownroyal.com to see where else the Royal Rig is stopping this NFL season. That's crownroyal.com. Please drink responsibly.
Altec Lansing has been perfecting sound since 1927, bringing you decades of audio excellence to elevate your Dallas Cowboys tailgate ritual. Equip your next pregame with the Sound Rover 180 with 6 hours of playtime, built-in microphone, multicolor light modes, and a rugged exterior that's built to last. Visit alteclansing.com/Cowboys15 for 15% off your Sound Rover 180. That's alteclansing.com/Cowboys15 for 15% off. Altec Lansing, official audio partner of the Dallas Cowboys.
Back to Cowboys Storyline.
All right, the search is on for the 2025 Fan of the Year presented by Captain Morgan. You can nominate someone, win a trip to Super Bowl 60. Enter to win at NFL.com/fan of the year. All right. Captain time. Let's go to Rob in Vegas.
Hey, Nick.
How are you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Good, good. What you got?
The last caller that said he's not worried about the receivers blocking. That's not the point. If you have players think this is beneath them, you're going to have a bad team. When you're on the field, you do whatever it takes to win. So, yeah, if CeeDee Lamb says, listen, they're not paying me to block, we have a problem. Bringing in Clowney, I think it's good for a couple reasons. One, he's productive. He's like a part-time player, but he gets results. He also looks the part, and he has the name. So the offense just has to look at him and say, hey, that's Clowney, let's pay a little attention. If they pay a little more attention to him, maybe it frees up somebody else.
Yeah.
And at least he's good against the run. He's not a 240-pound, guy. So I like it. Bring in anybody that can help this team. I don't care who they're from. As a fan, we got to hope that the Cowboys stay in it till at least the trade deadline. And then with these picks, I'll give you a scenario and see what you think. We're talking about Pickens. Pickens is going to command, let's say, $30 million. That's what I think the guy in Cincinnati got, Higgins. So let's just say that's the going rate. And let's say Pickens has a good year in Dallas, and he gets, 800-900 yards, But now you got the trade deadline. The Cowboys are in it. We're in first place. We're right there with, Philadelphia, Washington. Would you be willing to trade for Trey Hendrickson out of – let's say Cincinnati is not doing good, and I think that's a very good possibility. Here's a 30-year-old defensive end who's led the league with 17 sacks each year. He's really good. He's getting paid $30 million right now, which it sounds crazy, but is a bargain now.
Right.
So would you be willing to trade for him? Let's say you got to give up at number 2. I don't think you'd have to give up at number 1. But if you sign him, he's got 1 year deals. You're gonna have to re-up him. Would you rather re-up him or Pickens? Because Jerry ain't doing both.
Yeah. All right. I mean, what else? What else you got, Rob? We're gonna keep it moving. That's good. I'm gonna talk. I'm gonna talk about that.
I think. Listen, this is a must-win game. You hope Thursday night Philadelphia loses to the Chiefs, and then listen. We usually kick the Giants' ass. Dak, I think, has only lost once since he's a rookie. If they lose this game somehow or look poor, then we got a problem. But I don't see that.
All right, Rob. Appreciate that. Got a couple more days to call in. We can get picks then. Thanks for the call. He has not lost since his rookie year to the Giants. They've only lost once, and Andy Dalton was the quarterback there. It was 2020. They have not lost since 2016. Dak lost his first 2 games that he lost were to the Giants, like week 1 and week 11 or something like that. Yeah, I mean, the trade part, that's interesting. I mean, we can't talk about maybe a guy from another team. I can't, at least, but I think, knowing that they were willing to pay a pass rusher and Micah Parsons, very good money, like outstanding money, just wasn't enough. It wasn't anywhere close to what he got. But it's in the budget, right? And that's something that they were kind of looking for. Now, maybe not the same age, so that's kind of what's hurting Hendrickson and why he's not signing, or maybe why he hadn't signed the same type of deal. But something to consider and monitor the whole George Pickens thing and what's going to happen with him contract-wise and how he does, how he performs, how he handles himself, all those things. His agent, I think the Cowboys are somewhat familiar with him, same one as Micah. So all that's going to be interesting to see how it plays out. All right, let's go to our next caller. It's a first-time caller, Joe. He's in, is it Quitman, Texas?
Oh.
Joe, what's up?
Yeah. I was just want to make the comment that our defensive line gap integrity.
Okay.
That's what cost us the game. First half, they didn't maintain that gap integrity, and that quarterback, Hurts killed them. Second half, they maintained the gap integrity. Our linebackers improved, and they should have won the game with what they scored if they'd have kept their gap integrity throughout the game.
All right.
That was my only observation.
Joe, were you a coach?
No.
No? Sound like one. You sound like I mean, I like the terminology there. It sounds like you've been a coach at some point.
Nah, just a 68-year-old fan, been fan for all my life, Cowboy fan.
Well, you're a first-time caller, so you know what that means. There we go. Here we go. Joe, appreciate the call. Thank you for that, and I'll talk about it here when off the air. All right.
And hopefully the coach will just push that at them so they'll learn to do that all games.
For sure.
All
right. Thank you. So gap integrity, staying in your lanes, and it's the Eagles are just they're a challenge. I mean, that's why they win the Super Bowl. Like they make it tough. They make you look silly. Hurts does that. Where are you going with Hurts? Are you going to go with Barkley? It looks like it's going to be Barkley. Now it's Hurts. And I mean, just the second of your eyes going here and there, it's tough. And I don't like giving them a pass, okay? Because that team's in your division. Figure out a way to beat them, okay? This is not me saying, it's the Eagles. We'll see how they are. I know I've said that, but you got to go beat them. So and you got to have, like Joe says, you got to have gap integrity. You got to have that. Just remember, my point is that they're really good, and so if you're not, I mean, the Cowboys weren't anywhere close to that neighborhood as far as how good the Eagles were. Now they look like they're right down the street, if not right there. So we'll see how good they are. But as far as that defensive line, yes, young players trying to make a play. It's a little different than they used to have. With Mike over here. Now they're going to have to be a lot more disciplined in what they're doing on the defensive line. So all right, Joe, good stuff. All right, our next caller is from Kansas City. Casey Joe.
Good morning, Nick.
What's up? How are you?
All righty, sir. How are you doing today?
Good. Seems like you always call when Brian in Kansas City calls. I don't know. I know it's a big place, but hey, everyone's pulling for the Chiefs this week. Chiefs to beat the Eagles, get back on the winning track. So what's up, man?
It's hard for me to root for them because they have this Red Friday. I tell everybody it's Blue Friday because it's our day. But anyway, so that's on Fridays. It's Blue Friday here, but they don't agree with me. But anyway, So hey, the break was talking about the linebackers. They were really worried about the linebackers. They were saying how they didn't think we could have a spy, when you have a mobile quarterback. Isn't James pretty fast? Couldn't he cover something like that?
Shamar James?
Yeah.
Yeah, he is. But then you're giving something. I mean, he's not good enough in other areas, too. That's why he wasn't active. I mean, if they thought he could do everything, then, put him out there. Same with Jaden Blue. I mean, that's the reason why these guys aren't active. They're not as good at all of the things they're asking them to do. So, just go out there and be a spy. You would think, he could necessarily do that. But I think the Eagles want that. I mean, they would love that. Yeah, have a linebacker there just to spy me. Cool. Dallas Goedert's going to run right past him 10 times, and they're going to throw it to him, or Barkley over here. So it's more than that. It's more than just being a spy. And you can't have a spy every time. It's got to be different guys. Sometimes you're spying, sometimes you're not. So it's a chess match. And the Eagles won it for sure in the first half. Cowboys battled back in the second. It just wasn't enough.
True. Hey, I just want you to know my wife has become an avid listener in the afternoon. She turns it on just for you. So
awesome.
Anyway, she'll laugh at
What's
this.
her name?
Teresa, or we call her TLC, but that's Teresa.
Okay.
Yep.
TLC. All right.
Yep.
What's up?
Anyway.
All right.
Have a good day.
All right. You too.
All right. Bye.
I couldn't think of a song for TLC. I don't know. Like Waterfall or something. Creep. Anyways. Let's go. Savannah, Georgia. Sebastian's next.
Good morning, Mr. Heatman. I'm doing well. How do you do?
Okay, let's go. Let's keep it rolling. I love it.
Yeah. I am going to give my season prediction right now. We're going to have a 6,000-yard team. Dak's going to throw for 4,138 yards, 40 touchdowns, and 11 interceptions, only 8 of which will be his fault. He's going to run for 6 of those touchdowns outside of the 6-yard line. We're going to go on him. And what I believe is that he and Schottenheimer are a match made in heaven. And I think that they're going to have a very great season. He's going to go on to win the MVP this year. He's going to miss out on Schottenheimer getting the Coach of the Year because they'll never give us both awards. And we're going to face off against Minnesota and mollywop them in the first round. We're going to go ahead and beat whoever's in the second round. And then we're going to face off in the third round of the playoffs against the Eagles. And whoever wins that game will go on to face whoever wins the Buffalo Bills and Ravens game. With that being said, you have a great day, and I'll hang up and listen.
Okay. All right. 4,000 yards passing. I like it. I was trying to think, man, what's the record? It's almost 5,000. It's the record for Cowboys. Very specific. I like it. The one that got 6 rushing touchdowns for Dak. Did I hear that right? 6. Be Lamar Jackson if he does that. 6 in one season. That's pretty good. I mean, maybe some of that's down on the one. But I like it. I like the optimism. He's going to have to, they're going to have to keep him healthy and get it blocked up front. But I think, what we saw in that first half of the Eagles game, now obviously second half was different, but I think some of the stuff that you saw gives me some hope that this could be a really, really fun offense to watch with, one of those video game types where a lot of people are making plays. All right, let's take another break real quick on StoryLine. Be right back after this.
All right, Cowboys fans, this one's for you. Gillette's Best Shave has a new look this season, and they've got one that sticked out in Cowboys colors just for us. We're going to want to run, not walk to this one, y'all. The new Gillette Labs official Dallas Cowboys licensed razor isn't just Gillette's best shave. With 50% longer lasting blades than Fusion, it's the best a Cowboys fan can get. Get it while you can at Gillette.com/NFL. Gillette's Best Shave is also available as heated.
Discover Aiden, the official luggage partner of the Dallas Cowboys and Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders. Known for top-tier engineering and craftsmanship, Aiden offers more than just bags. Originating from Australia and designed in New York, it merges fashion, design, and culture. Used by Dallas Cowboys players, staff, and the entire organization, Aiden provides style and functionality for all travelers. Visit AidenTheBrand.com and use code AidenXCowboys for 25% off your purchase. Travel like your favorite stars with Aiden.
Back to Cowboys Storyline.
All right, back here on Cowboys Storyline. Remember, this segment is presented by Yeti, officially licensed Yeti. Cowboys gear is available at Stadium Pro Shops, concession, and on Yeti.com. All right, I just looked it up in the break on Dak's rushing touchdowns. He did have 6 the first 3 years of his career. 18 total his first 3 years. He had 6 right on the dot. And then the next 6 years, he's had a total of 11. So it's gone down a lot. 3, 3, 1, 1, 2, and last year 1. So getting back to 6 means turning back the clock for him when he was, 20, 24, 25, 26 years old. Usually doesn't happen, but who knows? Maybe. All right, let's go to Raza is in Virginia. Raza's next. What's up?
Hey, how you doing, Nick?
Good. How are you?
Good. I'm going to keep it a little short today. I want to call back in during Micah week and really talk about that trade then. But for today, I just want to give my prediction and say we beat the Giants, I think, 28-17, or maybe 30 points, 32-17 actually. Okay. And then my question is, what are the chances do you think we sign Jadeveon Clowney? Okay. Thank you.
Thanks. I think it's a good chance. Thanks for the call, Raza. At this point, being here, I can't think that this is the first time anyone's called his agent this whole offseason. I mean, there's a reason for it that he's probably looking now. There's probably a reason that he waited so long. Wanted to join the right team, wanted to see what's up. So I think at this point, I told someone earlier, I think maybe 75%. It's not a done deal. Just because you're here doesn't mean that you necessarily sign. This could be the start of 3 or 4 teams. We saw this was it Shaq Leonard? He was going to sign here, and then he signed with the Eagles, and that was a big deal. And I don't think you ever heard of him again. He played against the Cowboys. It was a non-factor. So you hopefully it's not something like that. But I don't know this. This could be a situation that he's gonna visit a couple teams, and this is the start of it. But I just have a sense that this is going to be a good spot for him. Whatever he's looking for. I think that he has a chance to come here and contribute, and they would need him, and so I think this would be a good spot for him. So I would say probably about 75% chance that happens. That's just all I'm. I've only known about Jadeveon Clowney visiting here for the last maybe hour and a half, so 2 hours. So it's kind of new. I haven't talked to a lot of people, but that would just be my guess. All right, next caller, Jay, is in Laredo, Texas.
Hey, Nick. Buenos dias, Cowboys Nation. How you doing? Just wanted to see your insight. Eberflus is not known as somebody who brings pressure. He rushes 4, drops 7. But before the weather delay, he didn't do any of that. After the weather delay, then all of a sudden he started bringing pressure, even Diggs on 1. Do you know as far as what made him change his mind? Was it just, hey, we're getting gassed, we need to go ahead and get to Hurts? Or what thought about that decision, if you know anything? And also about Clowney. Look, this is where we're going to find out. Jerry says the trade freed up money to sign other players. Offer Clowney $4 million, $1.25 in incentives. Let's see if now Jerry lives up to what he is saying. Thank you very much. I'll go ahead and hang up and listen, Cowboys. It's going to be a double-digit win against the little blue. It's going to be a double-digit win. We're going to get back on track. So have a great one, Cowboys Nation. Thanks a lot, Nick. You have a great one.
All right. Thanks for the call. That sounded like one of those radio promo hits where you're just like, all right, let's go to Jay out in the field. Jay, what do you got for us? And he just does this quick 60-second hit and then throws it back out. Here we go. We didn't have time for any of that. I Nice. I'm sorry. I was just like, what just happened here? Jay, I thought we were going to chat for a second. I like it, though. I'm not complaining. All right. He's talking about, I guess, Eberflus changing things up in the second half. They didn't have any pressure. They couldn't stop the Eagles. The Eagles scored a touchdown every single time they got the ball in the first half. Scored a field goal the first time they got the ball in the second half. So he had to mix it up. I mean, we're just going to keep doing this? So figure it out, because these guys are not getting home, and when they are, they're not making the tackle. So, give him something he hasn't seen yet, and that hurts. And that's what I think happened. And it started to work. I mean, that's not ideal. It's not ideal. That's not what you want. You don't want them to continue to have to bring that kind of pressure from the corners off the edge. But that's what happened. All right, and then other part was Clowney, and it could be that. It could be an incentive type deal. I could see that definitely happening. And he seems like the type of guy that would get it. He gets sacks. All right, Derek in Springfield, Missouri is our last call. Derek.
Hey, Nick. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing okay, man. Hey, I've been slacking this week. I haven't heard any of the shows. I'm getting ready to get on those starting on Monday, but I just I had one question and a couple comments real quick. So my question for you is, how do you think Tyler Guyton and the offensive line played against Philly? And my comments are, even though we lost, I felt really good, if you can feel good about losing. I took a lot of positives from that game. And, man, Dak looked like MVP Dak a couple years ago. So clean up some things. I think we're going to be a good football team. But, yeah, I just wanted to hear your thoughts mainly on Guyton and the offensive line as a whole. So,
okay, all right. Thank you for the call. I thought Guyton was a little bit of everything. I thought he was good. I thought there was some time it wasn't so good. Thought he looked mean in a good way. Played with aggression. He's got to clean up some things. He knows that. I actually talked to him in the locker room on Monday, and he said it wasn't good enough. It was good to get out there again. Remember, he had missed most of training camp with an injury, and so he had just gotten back into practice, into the flow. But I saw a difference in terms of kind of being a dog, and that was something. See it in his eyes a little bit. He'll figure some of that stuff out, but I think he's had all off season with a chip on his shoulder. He's heard a lot of stuff about him, maybe having a bad rookie year. That B word starts coming out. Or is he going to be a bust? All that stuff. And I think he's been motivated. I think he wants to be a great player. And he's going to be sitting right next to Tyler Smith, who he had a much better rookie year, but it wasn't outstanding. It was good. And then he kept getting better and better down. He's an all-pro, and he's going to be paid like one. So I think that Guyton, I'm not saying he's going to be on that same track, but I thought it was a good start. Not the easiest matchup, but hey, it's going to get just as tough this week for him. Maybe not for the team, but for him, because whoever they line up next or across from him is going to be a really good player. So that offensive line's got his work cut out for him. Let's see if he keeps stacking together some really good moments. So, all right, guys, it's been a fun show. 13 calls is really good. Appreciate that. A lot of you guys are going quick in and out. Got a chance to talk to some of the captains. So all in all, great show. We're going to do it again tomorrow. So for Chris Beam, I'm Nick Eatman. See you tomorrow. Cowboys Storyline.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.